Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, Adam here, and you're about to listen to a hypnosis session all about getting lean and strong. And I was working with a client that was going to the gym about 3 or 4 times a week, but quite often felt that it was something they had to do rather than actually they wanted to do. So what they originally came to me for was to almost have this discipline, this willpower to keep going to the gym, almost like a drill sergeant in their own head. And what became evident very, very quickly is that for those areas of their life that they were most aligned with, which was their career, they didn't have this need for a drill sergeant. They simply wanted to do that thing because it took their life in a positive direction. And what I tend to be pretty good at is finding the strategies and resources within the individual, the client that I'm working with, and then mapping that across to a different context that it would be beneficial. So given that in their life they were at their most resourceful when it felt that they were aligned with that and it was taking them forwards in a direction that they wanted, that was the ultimate resource to map across in the area of working out. They also had a particular frame of reference that was an inspiration for them. And it was the actor Chris Pratt. Now, Chris Pratt originally was known for being in a comedy called Parks and Recreation, but his body shape in that comedy, in that sitcom, was kind of like fairly chubby, not like fat, but kind of you would say quite round as a figure, approximately around about 30% body fat, and there's a lot of people that are at that shape and they're very comfortable in their own body. But what happened with Chris is that he got offered a movie role for a movie called Guardians of the Galaxy, where he played the lead hero, Starlord. And when he appeared in that movie, he shocked a lot of people who had been used to seeing him in a comedy with a fairly kind of flabby physique to then have quite an athletic physique. And this was a frame of reference for the client. And they also wanted that kind of athletic physique, feeling that it would give them more confidence and more motivation and just more fortitude and resilience. So you're going to hear Chris Pratt as a frame of reference. And what it does is it gives an element of a strategy and also the fact that what Chris was able to do isn't beyond the reach of most people. And that is a body fat percentage for men of around 10%. The equivalent in women would be around 15 or 16% because male and female body fat ratios are different. So a 10% body fat target for a man. And we actually did some research and found what he was bench pressing and squatting and deadlifting. And these were within the realms of a healthy male to do. So one of my belief systems is that people won't play the game if the game isn't winnable. And realizing that this is actually a very winnable goal enabled this client to feel like they could have a body like a Hollywood action hero and it wasn't beyond reach. So believing it's possible and aspirational is a key part of change, and then strategically making it something they could do. And you're going to hear all of this in a hypnosis session designed to get lean, which is the low body fat, and strong, which is the ability to lift heavier weight. So if you like the idea of getting stronger and leaner, then you'll get some value out of this session. But equally, it was created for a specific individual. So if you like the idea of having, let's say, a bespoke hypnosis session created for you, there is two key things I would suggest. One is that there is a suitability test for you to figure out if hypnosis is right for you. And that takes about 1 to 2 minutes to do. And there's a link to that in the description. But also, you can just book a free consultation call to explore working with me. Again, the link to that is in the description. So if that feels like something you're curious in or interested in, check that out. And for now, I would recommend, to get the most out of this session, find a quiet, comfortable place, ideally in the kind of environment where you won't be disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. And as they close, feel a sense of release as tension starts to leave your body in that outward breath. Breathing in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation, and continuing to exhale tension in the outward breath. That's it. Deeper and deeper relaxed. In fact, the deeper you breathe, activating that diaphragm, the more of that resourceful relaxation you're breathing in and exhaling that tension, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. Think of a color that represents resourcefulness. Maybe a bright color, yellow, orange, vibrant blue. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing in that feeling of resourcefulness. And as you exhale, just imagine anything unresourceful starting to leave your body, like grey or dark shadows leaving your body in that outward breath. Consider this a transfusion, breathing in the resources you need and exhaling anything that represents a block or an impediment. Just feel that start to leave your body as you exhale. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to imagine a pristine beach somewhere in Spain. Completely private, white sands in a beautiful cove. And I want you to imagine how it would feel to be walking barefoot on that white sandy beach. No one else around, just you. And sometimes when people feel connected to nature, their breathing slows, gets deeper. There is a feeling of being aligned with nature. As you start to feel like tension around your neck and your shoulders is just melting away. Eyelids feeling heavier and heavier, and jaw starting to loosen. That's it. With every breath feeling deeper and deeper relaxed. That's it. And I want you to imagine perhaps the most comfortable chair that's ever existed. The kind of chair that doesn't belong on a beach, but there it is. And I want you to imagine how good it would feel to rest yourself on that comfy chair looking out at the ocean. And maybe it reclines and you can feel yourself sinking deeper and deeper there into the chair. That's it. As I count from 5 to 1, you will imagine how good it would feel to drift so deeply relaxed. It almost feels like you're drifting into a waking dream. 5, just releasing all the tension around your face, your neck, and your shoulders. That's it, releasing it all in your outward breath. And 4, just feeling your arms all the way down to your fingers. Feeling limp, loose, and heavy. So completely relaxed. Almost like the limbs of a puppet with no strings, just limp, loose, and relaxed. And then 3, imagine your internal organs, your heart, your lungs, your stomach, all the way down into your gut, all relaxing. As you breathe in and breathe out, feel like it's doing the breathing for you. Deep and effortless. And then 2, focus now on your legs. It almost makes you feel that your legs are made of jelly. Nothing they need to do, just limp and loose, so relaxed. All the way down to your toes. And then feel 1 from the tip of your toes rippling up to the top of your head and back down to your fingertips. A wave of relaxation, enabling you to drift into what feels like a dream-like sleep. And in this dream-like sleep, I want you to imagine you're in your own private cinema. Find the comfiest chair in that private cinema. And imagine seeing, for some reason, there is 2 screens in this cinema. And I want you to imagine on the screen on the left, you're seeing a scene from Parks and Recreation. I want you to see Chris Pratt playing that character, Andy, and see him with the physical shape that he used to have. Maybe 25 to 30% body fat. No real physique, just an average guy in an office job. And notice that his physique wasn't linked to his confidence. He was confident without it. But I want you to just notice there was a version of him with a more rounded physique, didn't go to the gym. And then on the screen on the right, I want you to see him in an action movie. Maybe in Guardians of the Galaxy. And almost like a before and after picture, I want you to see him with a more defined physique. Lower body fat, more muscular. And I want you to see a different type of confidence. Somehow the confidence has evolved. You might link it to a sense of inner certainty, fortitude. And perhaps, why was this transformation required? Perhaps there was a belief that in order to be a hero, a certain look was required. But I want you to look back on the screen on the left and get a sense that the resources to create this body shape existed. The capability was there, the resources were there. It just needed a catalyst. And perhaps the catalyst was an offer to star in a movie. And maybe that was the catalyst, and the resources were personal trainers, nutritionists. Call it a plan, a strategy. The movie offer was the why, and those resources provided the how. And I want you to get a sense that that ability was always there. And I want you to imagine stepping into the screen on the left, stepping into the body of Chris Pratt with all of the resources to transform his body, but not having committed to it yet. And I want you to imagine there is a moment, a decision to transform their body in a particular way. And maybe part of that was to imagine themselves in the future looking different, being different, and feeling that all it would take is to eat different foods and exercise in a different way. And I want you to feel those resources are opening up for you now. And then shift perspective. And I want you to imagine yourself there in the cinema, now looking at 2 blank screens. I want you to see the screen on the left, you as a 15-year-old, making an important life decision as to which direction to take your career. On the screen on the left, there's the version of you making a decision, and on the screen on the right, I want you to see what currently represents the pinnacle of your success. Maybe an accomplishment, maybe something that you did you never thought you would do. The kind of thing that if old teachers were to run into you again, you could say, look what I've achieved. And that would be the thing that you would mention. And if you can see who you were and who you became, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to make an evaluation that you didn't require coercion, accountability, pressure, because that version of you wanted to be and become something that mattered to you. And if that's true in your career, it can also be true in a different transformation. Your career transformation would have surprised those that doubted you. So now on the screen on the left, I want you to imagine seeing a version of you with that body shape that doesn't quite tap into what you're capable of. You know, with a different level of motivation and desire, higher standards, more things are possible. So on the screen on the left, I want you to see that version of you just tapping into a fraction of what is capable and possible. And on the screen on the right, I want you to imagine seeing you with a physique similar to an action hero. It's you, it's in your future. I want you to see yourself with a body fat percentage of around 10%. Muscles are defined, abdominals are visible, but you're not so shredded you look like a bodybuilder. I want you to see you with a manageable, healthy, lean physique, but not so lean it would cause a burden. And I want you to see yourself with visibly larger muscles, particularly around the legs, the chest and the shoulders. Arms with more definition, and still keeping that 10% body fat percentage. This is your action hero physique. And I want you to feel that this is possible, manageable, doable. And if your unconscious agrees that this is possible for you, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine now the two screens merge into one. And all good movies of a transformation have a montage sequence. I want you to see yours condensing months into minutes. Your unconscious will let you know what is required for this transformation to be possible. Maybe it's eating more protein. Maybe it's not going to the gym anymore, but training different. Higher weights. But maybe it's 5 sets of 5. Training your muscles to get stronger. I want you to get a sense that you only need to train 4 times a week of lifting weights, and the other times you can do cardio. I want you to get a sense that it is quality, not quantity. See that montage sequence. Maybe put some music that would be motivating for you. I want you to get a sense of observing you like you're someone else. What are you doing? What are you eating? How are you training? And maybe you see yourself doing certain exercises, the compound exercises, squats, deadlifts, bench press, the overhead press where you're lifting the barbell from your chest up ahead, above your head, and just seeing the weights get larger and larger. See yourself doing the rows. And maybe you see yourself in a gym, and maybe you see yourself lifting from your own rack. But I want you to see, like any good montage, you can see the progress in the sequence. The plates have got bigger numbers. The weights are getting heavier. Your body is transforming throughout the montage. And I want you to notice how appealing this is. A transformation. But I want you to make a promise to yourself. This transformation will be covert. The evidence of the transformation won't be what you say. It's what other people notice. So allow the montage to turn into you observing you being noticed by other people. Maybe it's words like, "Wow, you're looking big. Have you been working out? Wow, you're looking strong." Or maybe it's just a look. But I want you to observe. Observe that other people are noticing this transformation. All parts of the journey appeal. Because every time you work out, you are training your brain to become more mentally strong. Every time you exercise a muscle, your mental fortitude is getting stronger. Every time you achieve a new personal best, your brain and your body is flooded with dopamine. I want you to get a sense that it feels good on the journey towards that destination. Feel that every time you work out, you are turning a part within you from that podgy Chris Pratt into the action hero Chris Pratt. That transformation starts within and then reflects externally. Your body becomes a reflection of your habits and decisions. And as you observe one final time this montage, I want you to see the absence of any drill sergeant, the absence of any coercion. There is no reluctant grimace on your face. As you're working out, you're smiling because you are becoming who you are meant to be. And the fact that it's not easy is what makes the accomplishment so valuable. Because so few people could manage this transformation. The more difficult it is, the more rewarding the destination. And then see, at the end of that montage, something that would represent the ideal goal. And maybe you can see yourself on a beach in Spain, wearing the kind of clothes that would reveal that physical transformation, the physique. But now the private beach is now a public beach. And I want you to see from the expressions of other people, they've noticed the transformation. And the way you walk on that beach exudes confidence. There is an element that tells you that version of you is brimming with confidence and sky-high self-esteem. And if that feels like a desirable future, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And then that version of you that you see on that beach, have them discover a comfy chair. And imagine that future version of you is now on that same chair that you drifted off into a dreamlike sleep. That the future version of you is now connected with the present version of you, allowing a seed of an idea to be planted. That this future version of you is no longer an aspirational, wishful thinking goal. It is simply who you will become. And every time you work out, and every time you get a new personal best, every time the weights get heavier, you are becoming that version of you. And I want you to imagine what the next few days and weeks would look like. The subtle changes to sets and reps. The changes to your facial expression when you work out, your body language, what it takes for you to get into that gym. Notice the subtle changes and allow yourself, allow your mind, your emotions to awaken all of the resources required so that subtle changes create a chain reaction so that things get easier and easier as the weights get heavier and heavier, you are becoming the action hero that was always within. So place yourself back on that comfy chair on the beach, realizing that all of this was just a journey within your imagination, a journey of thoughts within thoughts, ideas within ideas, and dreams within dreams. But it's time to return to the present, taking all of these new resources, new ways of thinking back with you. But in particular, the resource of desire and enthusiasm. You don't have to do this, you're choosing to do it. And by choosing to do it, that's what gives you the confidence and the self-esteem whenever you notice progress. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. That's it. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling resourceful, optimistic, already getting a sense of increasing confidence purely from the intention alone. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.